She said pay and leave, so I did. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "If you don't like my friend's rude jokes, you can just pay and leave." So I stood up, dropped $60 on the table, and walked out. She thought I was joking, until her friends realized I'd only paid for my meal. Now she's texting me about a $400 bill. I'm Hiroto, 29, electrician, and I just walked out of what was supposed to be my girlfriend's celebration dinner. 3 years with Saki. 3 years of trying to fit into her world while her friends treated me like garbage. Tonight was different. Tonight, I finally had enough. Let me back up. Saki and I met at a housewarming party. She was this ambitious marketing coordinator. Funny, smart. We clicked instantly. Moved in together after 18 months. Everything was perfect, except for one thing. Her friends. 3 women she'd known since college. Yuki, Ray, and Hannah. They were intense. Always making these little jokes about me. My job. My hobbies. My clothes. Everything. Started small. I brushed it off because Saki would laugh along, then tell me privately she didn't mean it. But tonight was Saki's promotion celebration. She just got bumped up to senior marketing coordinator. I was genuinely proud. So I suggested we all go to this nice steakhouse downtown. My treat for the whole table. Wanted to do something special for her. Everything started fine. Drinks, appetizers, everyone chatting. Then Yuki started. "So Hiroto's still playing with wires for a living? Must be nice having such a simple job. Not much thinking required, right?" I smiled. "Actually, electrical work requires quite a bit of problem solving." "Oh, please." Ray cut in. "It's not like you need a degree. Saki here's killing it in corporate while you're... What's that thing you do with the bikes?" "I restore vintage motorcycles. Just finished a 1978 Honda. How much money do you waste on those rust buckets?" Hannah laughed. "Saki girl, you could do so much better. Remember Takashi from the conference? Now he had ambition." I looked at Saki. She was smiling, shaking her head like, "Oh, you guys." Not offending me. Not even slightly. The jokes continued through dinner. Everything from my grease monkey hobbies to how I probably couldn't understand Saki's complex marketing strategies. Yuki actually said I was lucky Saki was willing to date down. The final straw was when Ray said, "Honestly, Saki, when are you going to upgrade? Hiroto's sweet, but come on. You're executive material, and he's, well..." I set down my fork. "Saki," she sighed. "Hiroto, they're just joking around. It doesn't feel like joking. Oh my God, he's so sensitive." Hannah laughed. "What, going to cry because we hurt your feelings?" I stayed calm. "I'm not comfortable with this." That's when Saki said it. Looked me dead in the eye. "Look, if you don't like my friend's rude jokes, you can just pay and leave." The table went quiet for a second. Then Yuki started giggling. She really said it. "Thank for the option," I said, standing up. I pulled out my wallet. Did quick math for my meal plus tip. Put $60 on the table. "This covers mine." Saki rolled her eyes. "Hiroto, sit down. Don't be dramatic." I picked up my keys. "Enjoy your celebration dinner." The laughter started as I walked away. I heard Ray say, "He'll be back in 5 minutes. Watch." I didn't go back. Made it to my car and sat there for a few minutes. My phone started blowing up about 10 minutes later. First, Saki. Very funny. Come back and pay the bill. Then, Hiroto. This isn't cute anymore. Then, are you serious right now? I drove home. More texts flooded in. Apparently, reality hit when the server brought the check. Close to $400 for the whole table. They'd ordered expensive steaks, multiple cocktails, desserts. I'd only left $60. Saki called 15 times on my drive home. I didn't answer. When I pulled into our apartment complex, she'd already left 3 voicemails, escalating from annoyed to furious. I'm going inside now to pack some things. Not sure what happens next, but I'm done being the punchline. Update 1. Didn't sleep much. Crashed at my buddy Kenji's place after grabbing some clothes from the apartment. The text assault continued all night. Saki, I can't believe you humiliated me like that. My friends think you're pathetic. You left me with a $400 bill. This is so embarrassing. You need to Venmo me right now. Answer your phone. Around 2 a.m., her friends joined in. Yuki sent a long paragraph about how I'm financially abusive for tricking them into thinking I'd pay. Ray called me a petty loser. Hannah sent a Venmo request for $100 with a note for emotional damages. I blocked all 4 of them and tried to get some sleep. This morning, woke up to knocking on Kenji's door. It was Saki. Kenji, absolute legend, told her I wasn't there. She didn't buy it. I know he's in there. His truck is outside. Haven't seen him. Maybe he parked here and Ubered somewhere. She stood there for 20 minutes, alternating between pounding on the door and calling my block number. Eventually, she left, but not before yelling, "This is so childish, Hiroto. You can't just run away from your responsibilities." My responsibilities? I paid for my food. That was my only responsibility. Kenji made coffee and we talked. He's been saying for months that Saki's friends were toxic and she enables them. Bro, remember when they joked about your mom's accent at your birthday dinner? Or when they said your sister's wedding was cute for a budget event? You deserve better. He's right. I've been making excuses for too long. Around 10 a.m., started getting calls from unknown numbers. Finally answered one. It was Saki calling from her work phone. Hiroto, we need to talk. Okay, talk. Not over the phone. Come home. I'm good. You're being ridiculous. So you got your feelings hurt. My friend, we're just having fun. You embarrassed me in front of everyone and stuck me with the bill. I paid for my meal, Saki. You told me I could pay and leave. I took your suggestion. I didn't think you'd actually leave. Who does that? Someone who's tired of being disrespected. She switched tactics. Baby, please. I'm sorry. They went too far. Come home and we'll talk. Just, can you please send me money for last night? I had to put the whole thing on my credit card. No. You invited us out to celebrate your promotion. Then your friend spent the entire dinner insulting me while you sat there laughing. I'm not paying for that experience. This is insane. You can't just... I hung up. She started calling from other numbers. I stopped answering. But then something interesting happened. Got a text from an unknown number. Hey, this is Hannah's boyfriend, Daichi. Just wanted to say I heard what happened, and good for you, man. They've been talking trash about you for years. Hannah showed me the text, and honestly, you did the right thing. They're all at Saki's place right now, plotting some kind of revenge. Just thought you should know. Revenge? For what? For not being their personal ATM? Going to lay low at Kenji's for a few more days while I figure out next steps. The lease is in both our names, but I pay majority of rent. Naturally. What kills me is not once has Saki actually apologized for her friend's behavior or acknowledged how messed up it was. It's all about the money and her embarrassment. Update 2. Well, the revenge materialized. It's both pathetic and infuriating. First, some good news. Went by the apartment while Saki was at work to grab more stuff. Found a notice on the door. Noise complaint from Monday night. Apparently, her strategy session with the Mean Girls Club got loud enough that multiple neighbors complained. That's going on our rental record. Great. Inside, the place was a disaster. Wine bottles everywhere. Food containers on the counter. My PlayStation mysteriously missing. Found it hidden in her closet later. But the real kicker? She'd gone through my toolbox and sold several of my specialty electrical tools on Facebook Marketplace. Found the listings through a mutual friend. My Klein voltage tester kit, $300. Fluke multimeter, $400. Several other pieces, all priced to sell fast. I screenshot everything. Then I noticed something else. She'd been in my project room. The 1978 Honda CB 750 I've been restoring. She'd listed it on Craigslist. Mechanic special. Needs work. 2,000 OBO. Must go ASAP. That bike is worth at least $6,000 in its current state. Probably $10,000 when I'm done. And it's not even hers to sell. I called the police non-emergency line. Explained the situation. They said since we live together, it's complicated, but selling someone else's property without permission is theft. They suggested I document everything and file a report. While I was taking photos, got a text from my landlord. Hiroto, need to talk to you about the lease. Saki called saying you abandoned the apartment, and she wants you off the lease. Also received noise complaint. Please call me. Called him immediately. Mr. Tanaka has been my landlord for 3 years. Good guy. Explained the situation. She says he moved out and won't pay rent anymore. I've been gone 3 days because of a domestic situation. I'm not abandoning anything. In fact, I'm in the apartment right now. She made it sound like you've been gone for weeks. Look, Between you and me, I'd rather keep you as a tenant. You've never been late on rent. Never had complaints until now. If you want to take over the lease solo, I'm open to that. What about her? She'd need to agree to be removed, or you'd both need to break the lease. But Hiroto, that noise complaint is a problem. One more, and I'll have grounds for eviction. Interesting. After documenting everything, I removed my bike from the apartment, took it to Kenji's garage, also grabbed all my valuable tools that hadn't been sold yet, left anything we bought together, took only what was mine before the relationship. That evening, Saki came home to find me loading the last box into my truck. What are you doing? Moving my things to a safe location since you're selling them without my permission. I needed money to pay for that dinner you walked out on. So you stole my tools? It's not stealing. We live together. What's yours is mine. That's not how anything works, Saki. She stood there in her work clothes, arms crossed. Behind her, I could see Yuki's car pulling up. Of course, you're not seriously ending our relationship over one dinner. It's not about one dinner. It's about 3 years of your friends disrespecting me while you enabled them. It's about you literally telling me to leave if I didn't like it. It's about you stealing from me when I took you at your word. Yuki got out of her car. Oh good, the loser's here. Hiroto, you owe Saki $400. I kept loading my truck. No, I don't. Yes, you do. You invited everyone out, and then I paid for my portion when I was told to leave. Which I did. Yuki looked at Saki. I told you he was too proud. Blue-collar guys always have fragile egos. I laughed. Actually laughed. My ego's fine. My boundaries are just finally clear. Loaded the last box. Closed the truck. Saki grabbed my arm. Hiroto, please. Let's talk about this. We are talking. I'm telling you I'm done. I'll deal with the lease this week. I suggest you find a roommate. Maybe one of your friends, since they're so successful and ambitious. You're really throwing away 3 years? No, you did that. I'm just refusing to subsidize it anymore. I drove away with them both staring. Felt like a weight had been lifted. That night, she tried calling from various numbers again. Finally left a voicemail. You're right. Okay, my friends were out of line. But you didn't have to be so cruel about it. Please come home. We can work this out. I love you. Too little, too late. Final update. Time for the conclusion of this ridiculous saga. After I moved my stuff out, I filed a police report for the stolen tools. With the screenshots of her Facebook Marketplace posts and my receipts, it was pretty straightforward. The officers said they'd follow up with her. Met with Mr. Tanaka about the lease. Saki refused to be removed, thinking she had leverage. She didn't realize I'd been documenting everything. See, turns out selling stolen goods online leaves quite a trail. Also turns out that when you have 3 noise complaints in 2 weeks, yeah, she kept having her friends over for support, violate lease terms about unauthorized sales of another tenant's property, and harass other tenants. She'd been bothering Kenji, asking where I was. The landlord has options. Mr. Tanaka served her with a cure or quit notice. She had 3 days to remedy the lease violations or face eviction proceedings. Suddenly, she was very interested in being removed from a lease. But here's where it gets beautiful. Remember Daichi, Hannah's boyfriend? He reached out again. Turns out he was sick of Hannah's behavior too. The final straw? She'd been making fun of him to Saki and the others, calling him a practice boyfriend, until she found someone better. He dumped her and moved out of their shared place the same week. Then the dominoes started falling. Without Daichi paying half her rent, Hannah couldn't afford her apartment. She tried moving in with Saki. But remember that cure or quit notice? Having unauthorized occupants would violate it. Ray's situation imploded when her boyfriend saw the text she'd sent me demanding money. He realized if she was this entitled with me, what was she like with him? They're on a break now. Yuki, the ringleader, lost her job. Not because of this drama, but because she'd been spending work hours on social media, talking trash about various people, including co-workers. HR finally had enough. Without a job, she couldn't keep up with her lifestyle. Meanwhile, I found a great 1-bedroom apartment closer to work. Rent's actually cheaper. Been focusing on my bike restoration. Should have it completed by spring. Even picked up some side electrical work that's paying well. Yesterday, I got one last text from Saki. She's moving back in with her parents. The friend group apparently imploded when money got tight and they started turning on each other. Hannah blamed Saki for ruining everything by dating down. Ray accused Yuki of being a bad influence. Yuki said they were all ungrateful. I see now how toxic they were, her text said. I should have stood up for you. I'm sorry. Is there any chance we could try again? I didn't respond. There's nothing to say. Kenji helped me move into my new place last weekend. As we were carrying boxes, he said something that stuck with me. Bro, you didn't just dodge a bullet. You dodged a whole firing squad. He's right. Oh, and the best part? I ran into Daichi, a sports bar last week. We grabbed a beer, compared notes on our exes. Turns out we have a lot in common. Both blue-collar guys who were dating women who thought they were settling. We're planning to hang out again this weekend. Might check out a motorcycle show. Sometimes the best revenge isn't elaborate. Sometimes it's just refusing to be anyone's meal ticket or punching bag. They wanted me to pay. Well, they're all paying now, just not in the way they expected. My mom called me yesterday. Said I sounded happier than I have in years. She's right. I am. Funny how much lighter you feel when you stop carrying people who don't respect you.